ride with the horses, I'll swim through the sea, I'll climb to the mountain tops, won't you come follow me? I'll take time to notice all that I see, and after I've come so far, you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. But life is a vision, that's how it should be. The world is a canvas, and the choices are free. At the end of the journey, where all is complete, they'll all wonder where I've gone, but you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. Our dreams last forever, for all that we know. The roads come together, and that's where we'll go.
Good evening and welcome to Kandit. I'm Johnny Rosario.
And I'm Troy Torres.
It is November 20th on a Wednesday evening.
Yeah, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Wednesday all day. Thank you for joining us. We have a full lineup tonight. What else?
Well, we can start with the white car.
Oh, the white car.
Yeah.
TM 3 688.
Drove by BP Carbolito Elementary School, speeding on her cell phone. The woman in this car, driving this car, hit a dog and then just ran away, laughing on her cell phone. So if you have any information that will lead to her arrest, please call 472-8911. That's the number to the Guam Police Department, 472-8911. And can you speak into the microphone, because we're getting a report that the sound isn't good. Is it good now? Okay. Then Mui's Garage. Mui's Garage by Jun Mui. The garage or the business is in Jigo. If you give him a call at 688-2944 if you need or if you've been interested in automotive detailing, bodywork, I don't know all the automotives. This is a Chinese language to me, but like things with the car.
And if you mention Kandit, Troy, or Johnny, or Eric, you will get a discount.
Yeah.
And that's Jun, and it's called Mui's Garage in Jigo, and his number is 688-2944.
And if we want to bring it up on screen, go ahead and cast to my screen, Chillin, so you guys can see. He's on Facebook. Just search for Jun Mui, JUNMUHI, Mui's Garage, and look at all the cool stuff that he does. I have no idea what all this stuff means. It just, the final product looks nice. Like, I'm sure these cars didn't look this nice before they were brought to there he is. That's Jun Mui. So anyway.
My mic is not on.
Oh, Chelo, her mic?
Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. My mic is on.
It's on. But one of our viewers can't hear you.
Hello. Hi, this is Johnny. My mic is fine.
So the levels are on. Can you guys let us know in Facebook land? Let's see what your comments are. Can you guys hear Johnny's mic? Gary Chanels is saying it's really low compared to Troy's.
How about now?
George Salas says Johnny's mic is very low.
Do I need to? How about now? Is my mic working now? Hello?
Former Senator Strom Thurmond, he lived to be like 100 or something, or like over 100 years old. He was the longest serving member of the Senate.
I hear me.
Oh yeah, we can hear Johnny on this thing. Maybe it's just not coming through on internet land. He was like the longest serving member of the Senate, and in one of like the hearings back in the 1980s, he couldn't hear someone who was talking, and he goes, "Excuse me, can you please talk into the machine?"
No, that's like David Lujan. When you're talking to him, and then you think he's turning away from you because he doesn't want to talk to you, he's just turning around because he's deaf on one ear.
Oh, you know what? We have to share the mic because it's not coming through.
No, it's coming through, John. It's coming through.
Everyone is saying it's not.
Just tell him to relax.
Oh, okay. It's being fixed. All right.
It's coming through. I can hear.
Okay. So, there's something else that we want to ask our candid audience, and it has to do with someone whom we know who
Is
needs
in
some
need,
help.
who's in need of help. She is having a baby, and because of circumstances, she needs some help. If you can donate car seat or baby items, newborn baby items that could help her until she gets on her feet. So just a car seat, just the basic necessities of a newborn baby.
Yeah, so you can bring those donations here to the Candid office. It's not like we have any personal use for it. We're not trying to jack anyone.
Yeah.
I ain't having a baby. Johnny's not having a baby. This is for someone who is in need. Thank you very much to everybody who took the time to let us know about the mic. It's working now.
Oh, thanks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, everybody. Now, if you guys would like to donate to Candid, you're welcome to go to our website, www.candidnews.com. That's where we send out the news first most of the time, like 97% of the time. The news comes out first through www.kanditnews.com, and then it's spread. That's the platform that it spreads from. Well, also on the upper right-hand corner, you can press donate and through
Or
PayPal.
at the bottom of the page.
Oh, it's there too?
Yes, yes. And Candid would love is thank you so much for the donations we've been receiving.
Yeah.
And guys, no amount is too small. No amount is too big. Candid will take anything, and we just want you people to know that we appreciate you. We are one. And we are getting things done. Today was a crazy day. Today was a great day.
I haven't slept like since yesterday.
Well, we're trying to change his biological clock
Yes.
right now.
I'm trying to change my fat biology, but you know. So
Thank you for the people who donated to our PayPal account.
yes, thank you very much, guys. We very much appreciate that. Moving on to the news of the day. On Monday night during the live, after receiving, after verifying certain information, Candid reported to you that there was a rape that had happened, that the victim was taken to Guam Memorial Hospital, that there was a call for a rape kit and to retrieve specimen from underneath her fingernails, and that the police were in pursuit of a suspect in the jungles of Deredo. This morning, we received information from the family of the victim, who had reviewed surveillance footage with Guam police officers and identified the suspect, who goes by the name Jesse James and lives along Waisengsong Road near Papa Store. Now, Papa Store is where around 8:20 p.m. Monday night, the victim was inside the store, and when she exited the store and turned to the left of the store, several men, including the main assailant, took her into the jungle area. Well, it's
right there.
It's overgrown vegetation. That's all it really is. It's overgrown vegetation that the families in that neighborhood have said they've been asking Mayor Melissa Savaris to cut this vegetation because these same men who are known to hang around this area, get drunk, and hang out, cause trouble, and hang out in the jungle or in this overgrown vegetation area. It was a camping ground for them, and so the families around Papa Store have been asking, can you please cut the vegetation? Well, so the girl was taken into the jungle. She managed to run out of their grass.
She managed to escape
before it was a gang rape.
She was able to get to her family's home.
She was able to run across. The family has surveillance footage of their own from their home, and the footage shows the girl running naked across the street. And it was a good thing that her mom was there. There were two men who were pursuing her as she was running from them. It was just such a scary thing, such a disgusting thing. Anyway, the one who managed to rape her is the person who she identified in security footage in Papa Store. And
can we show everybody who this person is, or?
Yeah, the thing might be kind of slow though.
Okay.
But yeah, it's on www.kanditnews.com. It's one of our stories. Actually, we published a few stories on the website today because of the amount of
information
that was coming in. But the family did provide the photo of the man, thanks to several tips from members of the Chukis community.
Yes, but I also have a problem that they're saying they're calling 477 help and nobody is answering the phone.
Yeah, that's Crime Stoppers, and that is an issue that people want to leave anonymous tips. So several members of the Chukis community brought forth tips to Kandit, and we
forwarded those to
the Guam Police Department. Yeah, including the name of the suspect, where the suspect lives, and all that stuff. And then sometime around 3 p.m. today, Guam Police Department, or I'm not sure if it was 3 p.m., but Guam Police Department sent out information to the media because they
never told the neighboring community that they had a rape
that a rape
Rapists
happened.
on the loose.
Or that a rape happened. And so I don't know what the circumstances of that of the investigation are. What we understand from a couple of sources is that the suspect is actually a track runner and is a relatively young man. I don't know. Maybe he can outrun them. I have no idea why they would keep the information from the public.
Anybody can get away from them, bro. Honestly, anybody.
But this is a big deal, and so the mayor actually responded to when she heard that the rape had happened. I guess she had a crew come by and they cut down that area of vegetation, according
Thank
to
you,
one of the family
Melissa
members.
Savaris.
Jacob Nakamura says, well, Paul Tapal is in charge of Crime Stoppers, so there's that. Jacob asks, so the neighbors weren't told of a rapist and our community was not informed right away of a random shooting on back road?
Very
That's
true.
correct.
Very correct.
That's correct. That is crazy. George Salas Jr. says, you would have to put $10,000 beautification award in place for these mayors to clean it up.
They actually get a lot of money, guys. These mayors, if they tell you there's no money, they're lying.
Yeah. Yep. Lance D says, I would love to visit and reciprocate the damage.
Didn't you both have naps today? I'm so sorry.
Alicia, we're just going to ignore that. Alicia Kanata says, we need a picture of this POS. Sorry, I could bring it up on the website, but the download time would take forever. Doreen Pangilinan says to Lance, this is behind Maria Ujoa Elementary School. Rudy Paris says, so the mayor waited till something happened.
Of course, that is her. She's a knee-jerk reaction. When the David's son passed away, what was his name? Chelo?
Baby Zion David.
Baby Zion. When he passed away, the people in that area were asking for a speed bump prior to Baby Zion being run over by Marlena Eloui. How do you say her name?
Ewolee?
Ewolee.
Yeah.
And now that this rape happened, families prior to this have been asking the mayor to cut that vegetation. They could have called Big Tone. Big Tone's back.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. So
welcome home, Big Tone.
I think he's going back out and helping the community. So maybe we could set that up where he can go help.
Well, family members of the suspect, because we put his picture out there, like the family asked us to do, have been writing that, he's not the guy or whatever. So
The families of the suspect.
the families of the suspect, yes.
Of course.
And so, people are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. However, this happens, and this is not to say that the victim is lying or anything like. As a matter of fact, in the comments back, I'm defending the victim, saying,
No, there was a comment that said, you need to watch how you dress and. Oh no.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw that. And someone commented back and took great exception to that. And come on, guys, you cannot blame the victim for. It is not the victim's fault. I don't care what the victim is wearing or if the victim is wearing nothing. The fact is the victim came running out of that jungle naked, not because she wanted to, but because she was held against her will, taken from a little mom and pop store in a neighborhood area. It's just such a sad story all around. Then there is, I think everybody got the footage of the apartment complex.
Guys.
My dogs are crazy. They just have this way. Anyway, of the apartment complex near or across from Chodi's Mart in Anigua. Can we play this footage? It's not too long. Yeah. That is crazy. That's some Michael Jackson stuff right there. Was that like the second floor or the third floor?
I think second floor. But why do you say Michael Jackson stuff?
Remember when he dangled his baby, but it was like on the 20th floor or
I
something?
don't remember that.
It was his own baby too. Like he like dangled the baby.
At first,
Yeah, yeah.
holding the legs.
Why would he do that?
I don't know. Why would that woman look at that? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I am scared of heights. That poor girl. I can't tell if that's the second or third floor. Oh, I guess that's the second floor.
It is the second floor.
Yeah, that's the second floor. I mean, I guess it's not that far down, but if I was the one on that ledge, I'd be like, that is far. I would be crying.
Go read her a book.
That is,
What we can't tell is if that baby's
Crying.
crying.
maybe the baby's having fun. I don't know, but that's really dangerous. Anyway, we have no idea whether this is the subject of a CPS or police complaint or anything. It's been going around social media, so we figured we'd play it for you guys. Now, this morning, and before the discovery of something really big, we filed a criminal complaint with the Attorney General and with the Office of Public and the Public Auditor, like we promised that we would, regarding Janela Carrera's
Comp time.
illegal use of comp time. And so this is what the letter says. Filing this complaint against Janela Carrera, the Governor's Director of Communications, and Anthony Babalta, the Governor's Chief of Staff, and asking that your offices investigate crimes they have committed regarding 2 personal vacations she took. I also ask that as your investigations proceed, your offices recommend and bring charges against those found to have assisted them in these crimes. On May 29, 2019, Ms. Carrera submitted a leave form to Mr. Babalta in which she requests to take 72 hours of compensatory time for a personal vacation. By the time Ms. Carrera applied for leave, she had only accrued 40 hours of annual leave, the only type of leave she could have used for a personal vacation. Mr. Babalta approved her leave form as both her supervisor and the appointing authority according to the completed and submitted form. Well, what we thought was a submitted form. Ms. Carrera was illegally paid compensatory time for these 72 hours she did not work. Those officials who signed her timesheet, certified her payroll, and authorized her pay also violated the law. Ms. Carrera also signed for personal leave between September 16 and September 20, 2019. Mr. Babalta again approved the request as both her supervisor and appointing authority. Ms. Carrera again was paid for these 40 hours of personal leave taken following the certifications of hours on her timesheet and payroll. By the time Ms. Carrera applied for leave for the second vacation, she had accrued and not used a single hour of more than 60 hours of annual leave. However, all those involved with the approval of her leave and pay allowed payment to her based on her application to use compensatory time which she is not qualified to accrue. Ms. Carrera, Mr. Babalta, and all those involved with the certification of her hours worked and ensuing payroll should be charged with official misconduct, subsection 49.90 of Chapter 49, Title 9 Guam Code. Mr. Babalta and all those involved with the certification of her hours worked and ensuing payroll should be charged with violating the accountability of dispersing and certifying officers law, which is found in Article 1, Chapter 14, Title 4 Guam Code. This is based on, so we've been bringing you the story about how Janela Carrera took these 2 vacations, used comp time for these 2 vacations, which isn't allowed.
We're saying it's comp time because these are the leave forms that came out of the administration that we FOIA'd from them.
Yes. And we thought that they were sending us actual legit documents, and we'll get to that in our top story tonight. But based on those leave forms, the big deal at the time was, oh, she's using comp time. That's not legal according to Executive Order 9511 and the laws of Guam. And so, Mr. Cruz and Mr. Camacho, can you please conduct your investigation and bring charges about that? So we also, as we promised, filed our criminal complaint with Director of Revenue and Taxation Daphne Manson Shimizu, on our discovery that both Guam Music Inc. and Atlas Amusement Enterprises, the 2 owners of all of the Liberty, Symbolics, and Match Play machines. They're the only two licensees. Both of them have been in criminal violation of the Gaming Control Act for allowing minors onto premises where these machines are operating. Yeah, and so can you do us the favors here? This is our complaint to our criminal complaint to Daphne.
Attached herein is my complaint and request for revocation of all gaming machine licenses throughout Guam. The text of the complaint follows in line for easy reference. Buenas. Herein is my formal criminal complaint pursuant to the provisions of the Gaming Control Act regarding illegal gambling. I request the remedy required by law, which is the revocation of all licenses to operate Liberty, Symbolics, and Match Play slot machines throughout Guam. There exists within Guam only two companies who possess an electronic gaming device owner's license as defined by subsection 7115. Do I just say two?
Yeah.
2 of Chapter 7, 3 GAR, Guam Music Inc., and Atlas Amusement Enterprises. On November 6, Jesse Mendiola filed a complaint with the Guam Police Department regarding King's Restaurant in Harmon and Guam Music Inc.'s criminal violation subsection 7156 of Chapter 7, 3 GAR, which prohibits the operation of the aforementioned gaming devices on premises where children are allowed. 2 of these gaming devices were located inside the restaurant. Guam Music Inc. was the licensee according to the license displayed there on that day. Children were present. On November 8, 2019, I filed a similar complaint with GPD regarding the same criminal violation committed by New Kim's Laundromat and Atlas Amusement. 6 of these gaming machines were located inside the laundromat. Atlas Amusement, according to the license, was the licensee. 1 child was present. The violations of subsection 7156, Chapter 7, 3 GAR are not limited to these 2 venues, as the gaming machines have been in operation in several locations where children are present on the premises, to include the Children's Amusement Park at the Micronesian Mall, Linda's Coffee Shop, Whimsy Amusement Park at Century Plaza, and at several other locations. These illegal operations have been ongoing for years. They signify a wanton disregard for the law and for this community. Subsection 7140 of Chapter 7, 3 GAR, suspension or revocation of license, grounds and penalties states, any limited gaming license granted by the Commission may be suspended for up to 6 months or revoked for any cause which would have prevented its issuance or for any violation by the limited gaming licensee or any officer, director, agent, member, or employee of a limited gaming licensee of this act, or any rule or regulations promulgated by the Commission, or for conviction of a crime involving moral turpitude or a felony after notice to the limited gaming licensee and a hearing upon proof by a preponderance of evidence as determined by the Commission. Emphasis added. Pursuant and according to these provisions, and to the authority and the duties granted to the Department of Revenue and Taxation to enforce the provisions of the Gaming Control Act, I am asking you to revoke the license held by Guam Music Inc. and Atlas Amusement for the gaming machines they own. Thank you, Troy Torres.
So if the Director of Revenue Tax revokes these licenses for these 2 companies, that's it.
There's no way of getting it back ever.
Yeah, that's all of the Liberty machines.
And we don't have to go to the December 5th hearing.
Yeah, but with the time constraints, because there's a due process period, they have to send notices and all that.
Oh, because they're busy calling people that they need to renew their
Yeah.
business license, right?
Yeah,
because
that's-
they're busy doing that.
That could be it, or working with private investigators from the gaming industry, which is going to be our next story when we come back from our break. Our 2 top stories regarding secrets and cover-ups throughout our island and in Saipan.
swim through the sea. I'll climb to the mountain tops. Won't you come follow me? I'll take time to notice all that I see. And after I've come so far, you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. But life is a vision, that's how it should be. The world is a canvas, and the choices are free. At the end of the journey, where all is complete, they'll all wonder where I've gone, but you know where I'll be. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. I'll fly away, fly away, fly away, fly away home. Our dreams last forever, for all that we know. The roads come together, and that's where we'll go.
Welcome back, and turning to our top stories. Here at Candid News, we pride ourselves on our intense investigative skills, from unraveling intricate murder cases and announcing suspects to peeling back the layers of government and corporate corruption. We are proud of our work, and we will never leave any stone unturned in our hunt for the truth. But our work is very public as we publish our results and our techniques on the internet, social media, WhatsApp, just about everywhere we can think of, because our job as advocacy journalists is to expose the truth. Our company also conducts private investigations and are backed by some of the best investigative journalists and former law enforcement officers that have worked in the industry on Guam. That's a different side of Candid corporate office, and you don't hear about that work. Why? Because private investigations are exactly that, private. Much of a private investigator's success is attributed to his or her ability to collect, analyze, and compile information gathered from an investigation, and to maintain secrecy at all times. That we are very good at. But apparently, not everyone who fancies themselves as a private investigator has the same skill sets that our team has. Enter Rodney Jean Klingy. This is Rodney Klingley. He has been hired to conduct a secret investigation into myself and Troy and our Kandit organization. He has been to our homes taking photos, gone to the courthouse to obtain records, and followed us as we are driving to our family functions. He thinks he's in stealth mode, but clearly he doesn't bring his A game to this party. Mr. Rodney Klingy is the brother-in-law of Guam attorney Randall Cunliffe, who also happens to own game rooms on Guam, including the Lucky Land game rooms. Randy Cunliffe is also the next-door neighbor of Governor Lulian Guerrero and business partner of First Gentleman Jeff Cook. Mr. Klingy is from Saipan, where he previously worked as security for duty-free Saipan and then held a stint representing casino gaming consulting company Spectrum OSO Asia, which prides itself on being an investigations and gaming consultancy group specializing in a wide range of economic, compliance, and regulatory services to the commercial gaming industry, including employee licensing, junket operator vetting, business intelligence, litigation support, assistance to casino owners, and a review of compliance with anti-money laundering and other government regulations. Just like the problems facing Saipan's Imperial Pacific with the recent FBI raids of the casino offices. Rodney Klingy, at the time IPI was trying to obtain their Saipan monopoly, was the director and country manager Philippines for Spectrum OSO Asia, and on their website he claimed to have more than 35 years of experience in the fields of law enforcement and global corporate security, and alleged to be the former head of the Guam Attorney General's Special Prosecution Division. His bio on their corporate website says, quote, Mr. Klingy has been involved with many high-profile criminal investigation in his public law enforcement career and in the private sector. During Mr. Klingy's law enforcement career, he worked primarily in undercover investigations, breaking up a number of drug smuggling operations, including a major heroin distribution ring operating in Guam, Thailand, the Philippines, and Japan. He also has experience with homicide and kidnapping investigations and has been involved with the investigation of numerous crimes involving political corruption, financial, and white-collar crimes. In reality, Mr. Klingy was deputy sheriff in Oregon in the 1960s and then spent 2 years working for the Guam Attorney General from 1978 to 1980, and then 1 year working for Saipan Trust Public Safety from 1980 to 1981. After that, he was in charge of the security guards at DFS Saipan. He retired and started his business in Saipan called Asian Business Knowledge, LLC, which is located at number 1 Guriger Lane, Capitol Hill, Saipan. His wife is the sister of Randy Cunliffe's wife, who is also a game room owner under license with Guam Music Inc., Lauren Bromley, who recently decided to settle down on Guam, buying a $4 million Talo Verde home to spend time here fighting the legislative effort to ban her blood money game rooms. Federal officials have been notified about private planes departing Guam with large sums of cash on board. So who hired Mr. Rodney Klingy to investigate myself, Troy, and our Candid News organization? With ties to the governor, the Guam blood money game rooms, and the Saipan casino industry, it is pretty clear to us what this is all about. So to Mr. Rodney Klingy, we say this: don't come for us unless we call for you. It is probably better you just go back to Manila and spend time with your Lions group in retirement. To those paying Rodney Klingy to investigate us, well, you've gone and wasted your money. We are an open book. All of our dirt has been public. We have never hid our past from the public. Truth is our weapon. Can you say the name for Candid News? I'm Johnny Rosario.
So we can save all of these gambling people a lot of money. I mean, not like they need to save money, but
Yeah.
we can save them a lot of money right now. In 2000 or 2000, I can't remember the date. Maybe your investigation can remind me of the date. I was arrested by then Sergeant Maurice Sayama. Ended up being the police colonel and we ended up being good friends during the Calvo administration. He arrested me because me and Angie Diaz came out of Pocket after we bought 2 joints, and
You
I
took the hit for it.
well, we both did.
Oh,
We,
even Angie got arrested.
well, we both, yes, we both got arrested. It was very embarrassing on the side of the road on Route 15. Uh, when and this is why
That's your first time getting arrested? You want to know when was mine?
when
When I was 5.
what?
I was 5 years
How
old.
do you get arrested when
Wait,
you're
I'm
5?
gonna tell you guys. So my grandma's house in Sinajana is at the top of the hill. So behind the hill is the youth center. And
Okay.
the youth center had a pre-K Head Start.
Okay.
So my bigger cousins, because they wanted to get toys, they couldn't get in the front door. So there was this little window in the back, and I was the youngest of the cousins, so they pushed me in the window. And I got the toys for them, and I was their hero, and yeah. And then the next day, the policeman came to my grandma's house, knocking on the door, looking for me. So I was 5 when the first time I ever got arrested. I've done some shady ass shit.
Oh man.
Sorry. Oh, that shouldn't be a bad word, guys. Anyways, Lou Leon Guerrero should be a bad word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, my next stint with the law would be manufacturing methamphetamine.
What year was that? Just so we can save Mr. Clingy some time.
2014.
24
No. 2004. 2004.
2004.
Yes.
So mine was 2001.
Mhm.
Yours 2004. Oh, during my time in the government, as we've talked about many times on this show, this is actually how the show was created. I was aware of and sometimes witnessed wrongdoing committed by the Calvo administration. Now, there were some things that I saw that I wasn't aware. You know, you have to put all the pieces together
Right.
later on, right? And when you start to put the pieces together, then you're aware of the full story.
Into the jackets, into
Yeah.
the folders that we created, right?
Yeah, so there were several instances it dealt with the Gura stuff, the YTK stuff, the Port 7 stuff, a whole lot of things during the Calvo administration. If you want, Mr. Clingy, you can,
Ask us, call us, we'll tell you.
or
Like,
why don't you just go back and review all of the Kandit
yeah, watch us.
Facebook stuff, and you can just get all the dirt from there. We just publicly, whatever. I was arrested in April, I think
Of
April
2017.
2018.
2018, yeah.
April 2018.
And I was arrested March, same year, March.
Yeah, of 2018.
Yeah, and that I pled out to a misdemeanor.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they charged me as a
And now you're
felon.
going through anger management
Yeah, I
courses
have to
as
go.
a result.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. Oh, and then when I was 19, I beat up my sister's. This is statute of limitations. I beat up this girl who was talking to me, or made my sister talk back to me, and she's my younger sister, and you know, I don't like that, right? Because you're my younger sister, I'm older, you're supposed to respect me, and so I beat up this girl, and 2 officers came. She went and reported me. The 2 officers came to my house and pretended to arrest me because they were my friends. So how about that? What else?
I've slept
2007.
I've
Oh,
slept with a lot of people.
yeah, yeah. I live in Jigo. I take naps. What else? I like my coffee with a lot of cream, maybe 1 scoop of sugar, but it's very dark. Like when it drips out of the coffee machine, it's super thick.
I straightened my hair a few times.
Yeah.
Because I used to be embarrassed with my curly hair.
I don't wash my hair every day. I wash it like maybe every 3 days, every 4 days. Yeah.
I actually weigh 192 pounds.
I don't know how much I weigh. But yes, that is us. As far as who is backing Kandit, it is all of Guam.
Well, not all.
Well, the 99%.
Speaking of that, before we came back from break, we got a phone call from a citizen. Didn't leave their name or anything like that.
No.
We asked them to call back after the show, but the citizen wanted to say that the suspect
That we posted.
is not the
suspect.
assailant. Is not the assailant. And you know, I guess people can go back and forth about that or whatever, but this, according to the family, according to the victim, that is the assailant. Now, could the victim be wrong? I mean, maybe.
That's what the investigation is for.
That's what the investigation is
That's
for.
what the rape kit was for.
But in the meantime, the police department is in pursuit of a suspect.
There is, in the meantime, in the village of Dedido, there is a rapist on the loose.
Mm-hmm.
And this happened on Monday. Today is Thursday. Only the police department is talking about it now.
Now, we understand that if you know someone who's being accused of something like this, it's going to hurt. You don't want to believe
You're
it
in
or whatever.
denial or whatever.
And so it's very understandable. And then again, on the other side of things, maybe that's not the guy. I don't know. But we're not going to shy away from reporting what's been sent to us. And it's just, it's like we said, no one wins in something like this. No one wins. It's a very sad thing. Are there any other dirty secrets that we have? Any other Marianas, Johnny and Troy dirty laundry?
I've been married twice, divorced twice. How about you? Have you ever been married?
No, I've never been married. I don't have any children. By the way, there is a secret that I've been keeping from everyone, and that's I'm gay.
You know, Troy, a lot of the older Chamorro people, they think that me and you are partners, meaning boyfriend and girlfriend, husband and wife. So it saddens me when I have to explain to them that we're not, that I'm just your best friend.
Do they think that Sabrina Solis and Jason Solis are married?
I don't know. No, they just like, they like the dynamic.
They have a good, Sabrina and Jason have a good dynamic, right?
I don't know.
This was the same last name.
It's the same last name, too. I'll change my name to Rosario. Troy Rosario. And our top story tonight, in breaking news that we found out just this afternoon, late this afternoon, Janela Carrera's timesheets for the 3 pay periods when she was on 2 separate vacations indicate that she was fully paid for a total of 112 hours of work, as though she was behind her desk at her office at the Ricardo J. Bordallo Governor's Complex. But she wasn't. For 72 hours between June 26 and July 9, 2019, she was in Europe. And for 40 hours between September 16 and September 20, she was in Los Angeles and Las Vegas. Kandit inspected the 3 timesheets in the custody of the Department of Administration Payroll Office. Chief Payroll Officer Gilbert Galang responded to Kandit's demand to inspect public documents under the authority of the Freedom of Information Act late this afternoon. Mr. Galang produced the 3 timesheets, which indicate that for every day Ms. Carrera was actually off island, she was paid for regular hours worked. 2 of the timesheets were certified by Adelup timekeeper Antonio Beneventi, signed by Ms. Carrera, and approved by the Governor's Chief of Staff, Anthony Babalta. 1 timesheet was signed by Mr. Beneventi and Ms. Carrera and approved by a person whose name is not indicated in the document. In response to a Freedom of Information Act demand for information from Ms. Carrera for all leave applications she made since becoming the Governor's Director of Communications in January, Ms. Carrera sent to Kandit 3 leave forms. 1 leave form was for work-related travel between September 11 and September 13 for our National Governors Association training for nationwide directors of communications in Phoenix, Arizona. Ms. Carrera extended the travel from that opportunity to take personal leave immediately following that training conference. This is why she submitted a separate leave form for that same trip. That leave form indicated she would use 40 hours of compensatory time that would fund her leave of absence from work and guarantee her a paycheck as though she was working. Kandit previously reported how it is not legal for Ms. Carrera to accrue compensatory time, a fact that should have been caught by DOA payroll officials before the certification of her pay, if that leave form had in fact been submitted to the Department of Administration. Of note in the travel authorization document Kandit obtained is the fact that her travel was not authorized until after she left Guam. Prior to that trip was a leave form for Ms. Carrera to use 72 hours of compensatory time for a June to July European vacation she took. Mr. Babalta approved both timesheets where she applies for and takes this type of leave that she is not allowed to take. The 2 leave forms for Ms. Carrera's 2 vacations, however, were not attached to Ms. Carrera's corresponding timesheets for the 3 pay periods spanning those vacations. The forms would have been required had Ms. Carrera's timesheet reflected that she was using leave hours to pay for her paycheck in lieu of actually working. The timesheet would have been marked with the number of leave hours taken each day under the category of leave to be applied. In each day noted in the timesheets when she was on vacation, 8 hours are marked under the category regular hours. No leave hours were marked and no category exists in Office of the Governor timesheets for compensatory time because that type of leave does not apply to employees there. Kandit Wednesday morning filed a criminal complaint with the Office of Public Accountability and the Office of the Attorney General regarding these violations of Guam law. When Kandit asked Mr. Galang, the chief payroll officer, quote, "Gil, do you realize that Janela Carrera was on vacation during these pay periods that reflect she worked regular hours?" Unquote. His response was, quote, "Not according to the documents submitted by the governor's office to our office," unquote. Ms. Carrera signed timesheets that led to the processing of her paychecks during those 3 pay periods that claim she was at work and working when she was not and was on vacations. She defrauded the Treasury of Guam, falsified public documents, made a false claim in order to personally benefit herself, and committed official misconduct. Mr. Beneventi, the timekeeper, certified to the payroll office that Ms. Carrera worked those hours on Guam, even knowing that she was not on island during those periods. Mr. Babalta and the other signatory approved the timesheets, falsifying public documents, making a false claim, defrauding the taxpayers, and committing official misconduct. These are criminal felonies and misdemeanors. As for the leave applications Kandit received from the governor's office for Ms. Carrera, those documents were not transmitted to DOA, and it is now questionable whether those documents were falsified and forged only as a direct response to the FOIA demand for Ms. Carrera's leave forms to cover up the illegal activity. What exactly are these public officials on the hook for, criminally and civilly? Well, take your pick of a host of crimes. There are misdemeanors like forgery, tampering with public records, misapplication of entrusted funds, official misconduct, unsworn falsification, and obstructing government functions. Then there are third-degree felonies for which they could be charged, including forgery, unlawful influence, and tampering of public records. They may also be jointly civilly and personally liable for the illegal expenditure under Title V GCA subsection 7102, which requires that you exercise due care, skill, prudence, and diligence solely in the interests of the people of Guam, or be personally liable for taxpayer actions to recover the expenditures. Other related criminal or civil liability includes obstructions of 4 GCA, Public Officers and Employees Code, subsection 3105. Officers of governing bodies may be liable for losses due to an exercise of due care. Subsection 3106. Officers of local government bodies may be held personally liable for the negligent acts or omissions of employees under him if the officer failed to supervise such employee with due care. Chapter 46 of the Criminal Code. Subsection 46.10, forgery, falsified writings, alterations, deceptions, misdemeanor to third-degree felony. Subsection 46.25, tampering with records, misdemeanor. Subsection 46.70, misapplication of entrusted funds, disposing of funds as a fiduciary, knows unlawful, misdemeanor. Subsection 49.40, unlawful influence, third-degree felony to exchanges any benefit as consideration for improperly influencing or attempting to influence a public servant. Subsection 49.90 of the Criminal Code, official misconduct, misdemeanor if with intent to benefit self or another commits an unauthorized exercise of official function or fails to exercise official duty imposed or implied by position. Subsection 42.30, unsworn falsifications, misdemeanor of intending to mislead a public servant performing official functions with anyone's false or misleading statement or representation. Subsection 55.10, tampering with public records, third-degree felony of intent to defraud or injure, misdemeanor otherwise of knowingly falsifying, misrepresenting, or hiding records. Subsection 55.40, obstructing government functions, misdemeanor to intentionally obstruct any government duties or functions. Under the title of the Guam Code dealing with penalties, any person, including an employee, employer, medical case manager, healthcare provider, vocational rehabilitation provider, or workers' compensation insurance carrier who knowingly and with intent to defraud makes a false statement excuse me, or representation for the purpose of obtaining, affecting, or denying any benefit or payment under the provisions of this chapter, either for her or himself or for any other person, shall forfeit all benefits or payments obtained as a result of the false statement or representation, and all or a portion of any right to compensation under the provisions of this chapter as determined by the director, and for fraud involving $10,000 or more, be fined not more than $1,000 not more than $100,000, or imprisoned not more than 3 years, or both, and for fraud involving less than $10,000, be fined not more than $10,000, or imprisoned not more than 2 years, or both. Adelup refuses to answer any of Kandit's questions.
So the leave forms that was sent to Kandit was falsified.
What we do know is that they were not sent to the Department of Administration.
So that was just them trying to shut us up.
It very well could have been. It very well could have been, yeah. Now, let's see. We have comments. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Oh, wow, there's a lot of comments. Okay. Lance D says, been following from the jump and still. Thank you, Lance. Jacob Nakamura says, who backs Kandit? The 99. Can you ask Mr. Kringle to stop and get us some more iced tea mix on his way over tonight? Jacob wants to marry you, Johnny.
I'm flattered.
Jacob's asking me, what, Troy, is that true? Mr. Kringle put that in your report and shoved up your ... Breaking news, Janella going to jail. Jacob says, you gotta love the arrogance of her posting all these pictures on her social media, bragging in our faces that she's stealing our money. Yeah, all those vacation trips, my goodness. I mean, vacation photos.
There's a Saki alert.
So out of touch, arrogant, and a heightened sense of entitlement. She seems like such a humble woman. Debbie Kanata says, Babalta is a creep. Lance D says, ha, on or under the desk. Wanda Rosario says, is she paying him under the bedroom? LOL. Jacob quotes Gil Galang saying, not according to the documents submitted by the governor's office to our office. Then goes on to say, Ms. Carrera signed timesheets that led to the processing of her paychecks during those 3 pay periods that claim she was at work and working when she was not and was on vacations. She defrauded the Treasury of Guam, falsified public documents, made a false claim in order to personally benefit herself, and committed official misconduct. These are the words from the story itself. Ray Paris says, so Gov Guam is full of Sakis and Dakuns. Maria Tyson says, fire all involved, bunch of crooks.
Yes.
Lance D says, that's the future Mrs. Babelta. I'm tired, you guys. I want to go to sleep. Is that okay? Is that
Very
cool?
okay, yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to discuss?
No, just can we the family that needs help with newborn baby things, car seat. If you guys can donate a car seat, it doesn't have to be new. It could be used. We can clean it up. And I believe she'll be giving birth in like 2 weeks.
Does she know what she's having?
She's having a girl.
Oh, okay. So girl stuff.
Yes. So if we can help, girl, boy stuff, whatever you have in your home that you
Okay.
could be able to donate.
Okay.
It does not have to be new.
And yeah. And to the family of that
Rape
that
victim?
the rape victim, our prayers are with, especially with the rape victim. We hope whoever is the assailant, or what sounds like it's not just one assailant, like there were others who were at the very least at the scene and who were chasing her. We hope that they're all caught and these people are taken off the streets. And I guess we'll find out more from the Guam Police Department or whoever. Thank you very much, everyone. Love you.